Good afternoon, I'm George Kailes. Thanks for joining us. Our breaking news this hour, the runway of the Ninoy Aquino International Airport has reopened. This after more than a day of closure after a Chinese aircraft skidded off Thursday night. Our Anjo Alimario joins us live from Pasay City. Anjo, what's the situation there now?
Well, George, as you can see behind me, thousands of passengers can't wait to board their respective flights after long hours of delay caused by a Chinese aircraft that went off the NAIA runway Thursday evening. It's still crowded here, but it's a slight improvement from last night's chaotic situation where hundreds of passengers failed to leave the country. Now, airport authorities say the Xiamen Air aircraft has been removed from the runway as of 2:30 in the morning and was transferred to Balagbag ramp. And of course, they gave actually this final deadline for the closure of the runway until 12 noon, but they were able to reopen it earlier. And when that announcement was made here at the NAIA Terminal 1, we heard loud cheers coming from the passengers. Obviously, they're very happy with this piece of good news. Now, here is the explanation given how the plane was extricated from the runway.
So it was really a challenging recovery operations kasi sobrang basa nung lupa, grassy portion kasi yon. So ang thick nung soil and then the metal slabs na ginamit pangontra dun sa weight ng aircraft are really ang bigat. So nalulubog siya doon lalo sa putik, So it took a while just to mobilize the equipment. It took around 2 hours.
Again, George, MIAA General Manager Ed Monreal apologizes to all passengers that this closure has cost them, but priority will be given to those who have scheduled flights today. Now, according to MIAA's Conch Bungag, the supposed maintenance closure of the runway that's from 12 midnight to 6 in the morning will be lifted to give way for recovery flights. And here are some of the reactions of the passengers.
Dapat naka-check-in na po kami. Kasi nandito kami sa hallway lang na tambay. Wala po Wala po, nagbaon na lang po kami kasi namin sa TV kanina na nga po yung sa runway.
Pagod, puyat, lahat. At saka walang tulog. Kulang sa tulog. Diyan lang ko natutulog sa baba.
When we arrived to here and when we heard that the plane was delayed, we just seated there and we started to pray and praise the Lord.
Airport authorities expect that the flights will start to normalize this afternoon. George?
Well, Anjo, going back to the Xiamen aircraft, what's the possible liability of the airline and what's the status of CAAP's investigation?
Well, when it comes to the possible liability of Xiamen Air, well, it's still being determined by the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines as its investigation is still ongoing. And we're also told that their counterparts from China will also be arriving here to conduct their own investigation. George?
Anjo Alimario reporting live from NAIA. The runway closure at NAIA earlier has forced the multiple flight cancellations for Philippine Airlines and Cebu Pacific today. The country's flag carrier canceled 5 flights that include return flights between Manila and General Santos, as well as between Manila and Cebu. One international flight is also affected by the closure. That's from Manila to Osaka in Japan. From budget carrier Cebu Pacific, the affected trips are from Cagayan de Oro to Manila, Butuan to Manila, Cebu, Manila, Cebu, and Cebu to Davao. Also on the list are return flights between Manila and some local destinations like General Santos, Davao, Tacloban, Pagadian, and Legazpi in Albay. International flights of Cebu Pac affected by the closure include Singapore to Manila and Sydney to Manila, as well as return flights between Manila and Melbourne, Australia, Bangkok, Thailand, Narita, Japan, and Hong Kong. A check on the weather now. There's no storm inside Philippine territory, but the northern and western sections of Luzon will experience rains because of the southwest monsoon or the habagat. Because of that, weather officials say Metro Manila, Ilocos Region, Cordillera, Cagayan Valley, Zambales, Bataan, Cavite, Batangas, Mindoro and Palawan, and Western Visayas will have cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms. Aside from that, a yellow rainfall warning is up over Bataan, Cavite, and Batangas. That means flooding is possible in low-lying areas. Light to moderate rains will be experienced over Metro Manila, Pampanga, Bulacan, Rizal, Laguna, and Zambales. Meanwhile, weather officials say portions of Maguindanao, Sultan Kudarat, Zamboanga City, Zamboanga Sibugay, Zamboanga del Sur, Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi will experience heavy rains with lightning and strong winds because of localized thunderstorms for the next hour. Meanwhile, Pag-asa is also monitoring two weather systems outside Philippine territory. First, a typhoon with international name Sulik. It was last spotted 1,870 kilometers east of extreme northern Luzon. Sulik has no direct effect on the country, but it will enhance the habagat. The second weather system, a tropical storm with international name Rumbia, has made landfall in southern China. It is located 1,395 kilometers north-northwest of extreme northern Luzon. Rumbia is expected to weaken in the next 24 to 48 hours. In other news, no full implementation just yet, but the dry run continues for now. That's what the Metro Manila Development Authority says about the controversial ban on driver-only vehicles along EDSA. Our Rex Amitio has the details.
The MMDA has been holding a dry run of its ban on driver-only vehicles on EDSA since Wednesday. After 2 days, the MMDA recorded over 6,700 violating vehicles. For officials, the policy eased the horrendous traffic on Metro Manila's main arterial road. That's why they were initially planning to fully implement the ban on August 23rd. But under pressure from lawmakers and motorists, the MMDA is now forced to hold the planned full implementation. Motorists claim the ban is causing much heavier traffic on adjacent and other nearby roads like C5. In its resolution, the Senate says the regulation violated due process due to lack of public consultation.
Unanimously naman, nagkausap-usap kami ng mga mayors. Of course, nirespeto natin ang Senate.
The dry run will continue until the Metro Manila Council decides on the matter next week. The council can permanently stop, continue, or amend some provisions in the scheme, like shortening the hours of the driver-only car ban. The MMDA is defending the policy, saying it's a necessary Band-Aid solution while long-term infrastructure projects are ongoing.
Hindi po namin target na ilipat ang traffic kung saan lang. Kasi nga, yung alternate routes natin. Ang pinopromote po talaga namin dito is carpooling, para makabawas tayo ng sasakyan.
The MMDA also says the scheme may travel faster, like on the southbound lane of EDSA Kamuning to Cubao every morning rush hour, and the northbound lane of Ayala Underpass during evening rush hour, including other parts of EDSA. Yet, there are areas where the gridlock remains despite the policy, like the southbound lane of Cubao to Ortigas every morning. Motorists and commuters, meanwhile, have mixed reactions.
Tanong ko lang naman, dapat ba isuspinde o ituloy yung policy ng MMDA na bawal ang driver lamang doon sa kotse kapag nasa EDSA?
Ituloy. Kasi tama nga naman sila na kapag mag-isa ka na lang, mag-commute ka na lang. Kasi di ba lalo ngayon, sobrang traffic na. Paano kung gusto mo pala magsakay ng iba, di ba? Oo. Paano yun? hindi ako pabor.
Mahirap din kasi yung kung pauwi ka na tapos wala kang kasama. Dadampot ka na ng tao sa daanan.
The MMDA, meanwhile, is enjoining motorists to cooperate even if the policy is only on its dry run. Rex Remitio, CNN, Philippines.
In sports, the opening ceremony of the 2018 Asian Games will happen this afternoon in Jakarta, Indonesia. It will be held at the Gelora Bung Karno Stadium in Jakarta and will feature several performances from Indonesia's renowned singers. The flag bearer for the Philippines is NBA player Jordan Clarkson, who was allowed a few days ago to suit up for the country's men's national basketball team. Clarkson wasn't able to play during the blowout win of Gilas Pilipinas against Kazakhstan last Thursday. Thursday, but national team head coach Yang Giao sees no problem fitting in the Phil-Am basketball star to the team. He already participated in their practice and tune-up games. Giao tells Sports Desk the training was an opportunity to fit Clarkson into their system ahead of the team's showdown against powerhouse China.
We just wanted to get together with him early and fit him in so that we can get some cohesion with him when we play China. There is no doubt about his ability. He caught on. He caught on with the plays really very quickly. So you can see he's a high IQ player, high intelligence. I don't think we'll have a problem just fitting him in. But what we want right now is really just to prepare physically and mentally against a very tough, very talented, very tall Chinese team which we play on Tuesday.
Over 200 athletes represent the Philippines in over 30 events in the Asian Games, which will run until September 2. Looking for a movie to watch this long weekend? 8 films are taking the spotlight on the big screen in this year's Pista ng Pelikulang Pilipino. Sam Sadwani gives us a closer look at the movies in the festival.
8 full-length films are featured in this year's Pista ng Pelikulang Pilipino.
Dito, walang signal.
Among them, ang babaeng allergic sa Wi-Fi. When social media-obsessed Norma develops a hypersensitivity to electromagnetic radiation, she is forced to navigate a long-distance relationship without the internet. This film is directed by award-winning director June Robles Lana.
We're so busy trying to connect online that we forget to connect offline with the people who really matter.
Ngunit heto ko, mistulang multo.
Another millennial love story is The Day After Valentine's. Bella Padilla and JC Santos reunite on screen. After last year's romantic comedy, Isang Daang Tula para kay Stella, with director Jason Paul Laksamana.
Sagutin namin yung question kung sino ba yung may sala, yung mga assuming ba o yung mga paasa.
May naghahanap sa inyo.
Director Jason Paul Laksamana's entry is Backwit Boys. The musical film is about a band of 4 brothers navigating their way through a new town. Their love for music making them survive being displaced by a super typhoon.
It's not a song and dance type of musical. It's more of a musical because yung main characters, they are a band and they practice a lot of their original songs and they perform them in front of audience.
You have to let me go. Let me go. Let me go.
After he was left by his girlfriend, Benedict chances upon a magical bottle called Wish Key that gives him the ability to go back in time.
Joey Marquez is like this magical bartender and gives him this wish key. Yes. And whenever he drinks it, he goes back in different eras in time.
Erich Gonzalez stars in action thriller We Will Not Die Tonight. This film, directed by Richard Somes, made its debut in the New York Asian Film Festival. Another internationally acclaimed film is Madilim ang Gabi, which premiered in the 42nd Toronto International Film Festival. This is a story of a couple involved in the drug trade at the height of the drug war in the country.
It's about a couple na riding in tandem sila, and the woman, the wife, is the hitman. Oh, wow. Yes, okay. I said, Adolf, this is interesting. Gusto mo maging hitman?
Majitim, black parang si Barak. With the Filipinos' desire to have fairer skin, we find out how far an ordinary Filipina is willing to go to look Caucasian. Chai Fonashare stars in comedy-drama film Pinay Beauty.
It's about the penchant of Filipinas to want to look Caucasian. Our penchant to look whiter, to want to be whiter. It's about the fascination na parang sa atin beauty is being white.
Signal Rock delves into the life of Intoy as he struggles to make ends meet in his hometown of Biri, Samar. This passion project of director Chito Ronyo stars award-winning actor Christian Bables.
The story of Signal Rock really is, if your family, you can depend even those who are left behind. Kasi family is very important to Filipinos. And kahit nasabihin mo, you look down on yourself, nasabihin mo, naiwan kami, o dito lang kami. But when you're asked to help, lumalabas yung pagka-family mo.
I'm Sam Sadwani, CNN Philippines.
When the newsroom returns, President Rodrigo Duterte has a warning for policemen involved in illegal drugs. And give some love to these sniffer dogs from Pidea. After retiring, they're now with their new families. Back after a quick break. Keep it here on CNN Philippines. Okay, so after more than a day of closure, NAIA runway has reopened, and that's good news for air passengers as we expect some sort of normalcy in the airport operations there this afternoon, as reported by our Anjo Alimario. And mamaya nga, about the bounty na binibigay, it increased bounty for tinatawag nilang mga scalawag policemen na involved sa illegal drugs. Now, let's greet some of those who are viewing our newscast this afternoon. Hello kay Merly Lavada from Illinois. Now, Brian Santillana, Michael Mikael from Japan. And yeah, marami tayong mga kaibigan na nanonood ngayon. So, keep it here on CNN Philippines while we will give you more updates on what's happening dyan sa NAIA. Dahil nga, finally, nagbukas na siya after more than a day of closure. So we will give you more updates on that later in the show. And again, hello pa rin doon sa ating mga kaibigan, si Ross Rentubong at si Manuel Solomon and Ati Ram Enoy, who's watching from Mindanao. You're in the newsroom on CNN Philippines. Welcome back. President Rodrigo Duterte offers a reward for the recapture or capture of policemen involved in illegal drug trade. He said this during a speech in Davao City at the mass oath-taking ceremony of Hugpong ng Pagbabago, his daughter's political party. Our senior correspondent Ina Andolong tells us more.
Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte's political party, Hugpong ng Pagbabago, grows even more with thousands of new members sworn in. No less than her father, President Rodrigo Duterte, was guest speaker at the mass oath-taking ceremony in Davao City. Now, although the president was not sworn in as member of HNP, his local party in Davao City, Hugpong ng Tawong Lunsod, is expected to tie up with HNP. In his speech, the president explains his controversial statement, saying he wants to step down because of exasperation. He said it was an afterthought from his meeting with the AFP and the PNP, which was triggered by reports of corruption at the Viluna Medical Center. Here's the president in his own words.
I was so exasperated. Hanggang kailan ba to? That's why during the command conference, I was not addressing to these idiots outside. It was a pure military affair. It was a command conference. Sabi ko, kung ganito lang naman, bakit ako magsakripisyo ng ganito? Matanda na ako, tapos araw-araw may ganito.
And it seems he's still annoyed by all the anomalies, especially in the PNP. He offered a reward for so-called ninja cops or policemen engaged in the illegal drug trade. His offer, 5 million pesos for a dead ninja cop, but for a live one, a mere 10,000 pesos.
5 million sa ninja cops. Surrender within 48 hours. Kasi pag hindi kayo nag-surrender, dadagdagan ko yan. 1 million per month.
Sticking to politics, Party Chairman Mayor Sara didn't waste time urging members to support the senatorial candidates the party will endorse. So far, there are 9 and all were present.
Let us give them our full support for the 2019 elections.
The event was packed, making it a good venue for aspiring candidates in the 2019 elections to be seen and heard. All Hugpong-backed senatorial bets spoke, even if some still insist they're not running. It was almost like a campaign sortie with the speakers, all praises for the Dutertes.
Handa po kami ipaglaban ang hugpong
si Presidente Duterte at ang pinakamamahal nating Mayora, Inday Sara Duterte.
Rehistrado na po ako sa Davao. Ako po'y umupa ng kwarto sa Robinson Subdivision, Davao City. Mayor, dito na po ako boboto at isa lang ang aking mayor na iboboto sa Davao City.
I can see her being a national leader. Inday Sara Duterte. Napakahusay po. Not only does she have the heart for public service, but she also has the head.
Presidential sons Paulo and Baste Duterte also officially joined the party, the growing party, which is expected to test its strength for the first time next year. From Davao City, Ina Andolong, CNN Philippines.
Over 200 policemen have been dismissed after testing positive for illegal drugs. This as the national police cleanses its ranks of so-called scalawags. Meantime, the drug war continues and the PNP says the number of people killed in the campaign has gone down from 100 every week to almost 30. In lighter news, after a tough career as anti-drug agents, 13 dogs of the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency or PDEA have finally retired. And the sniffer dogs joined their new families yesterday. The adoption ceremony happened at the PDEA K9 unit in San Jose del Monte, Bulacan. The agency says the furry heroes are in good hands and will get love and attention. Those who want to adopt a dog have to prove they can afford to pay for the animal's food, healthcare, and grooming. PDEA will also check on the dogs from time to time. Steelhead resort owners in Boracay are gearing up for the reopening of the island this October. Also ahead, take a look at this, the first rainbow pedestrian lane in the Queen City of the South. This in the Newsroom Weekend on CNN Philippines. Stay tuned. Okay, sa mga nanonood pa rin po sa atin dito sa Newsroom ngayong Sabado, yung mga walang gagawin ngayong weekend at long weekend, meron pa ring pista ng pelikulang Pilipino. So we have 8 films over there that you can watch. Also, yung mga dog lovers dyan na gusto mag-adopt ng mga retiradong mga PDEA agents natin, mga sniffing dogs na gustong mag-alaga ng mga hayop. So you can go to PDEA and just have to prove that you can take good care of these pets. Now, batiin natin ulit. Salamat po sa panonood ninyo sa Newsroom ngayong Sabado. Hello po kay Eden and Domingo. Sabi niya, tungkol doon ito sa airport, sabi niya, oo, open na yung runway but bookings are still closed. So, hello kay Ernesto Vicente Constantino, kay Benita Tionco, kay Dorothy Sinakay, kay Melinda Guzman. At marami pa po tayong balita, so stay tuned here on the Newsroom. The Newsroom's back with more stories. Resort owners in Boracay are raring to get back to business once the rehabilitation of the island wraps up this October. They say that tourist destinations' closure in April took a heavy toll on them, and they've been on a tailspin since. Our Pinky Webb has this exclusive story.
The storm shutters are up on almost every beachfront resort here on Boracay. It's typical this time of year. It is Habagat after all. But there's nothing normal about this resort town these past 4 months. Boracay has been closed for business since April. Blame it on the island's mounting sewage and pollution problems, illegal structures built on forest lands and wetlands, and those on the beach that were found in violation of the 25+5 shoreline easement rule, the required distance from a particular structure along the shore to the water during high tide. The roads on Boracay are a priority too. The Public Works and Highways Department has a mandate to complete the road widening in Boracay's main road, which spans 8 kilometers. And its circumferential road, 6 kilometers long.
Natapos na po natin yung clearing and demolition doon sa 12-meter right-of-way that has been set and established. And nakapag-start na rin tayo ng civil works as a component ng project. Yung challenges natin ngayon really is, aside from the weather of course, is yung this short time that was given to us, but we will really be laboring talagang by October 26, itong 4.12 kilometers na to from the Cagban Port to Elizalde properties, we can make this road possible.
And while all this work is happening, some resort owners are taking the time to do some improvements themselves, getting ready for opening day.
Excited kasi number one, I have to be frank, survival ito. Meaning, we're running out of cash, I think all of us are, whether the big ones or the small ones, lahat kami, we need the cash flow.
For an island that attracts 2 million visitors a year, Jobert admits he had mixed feelings regarding the closure.
The island needed to be closed. But sana, first, we were not prepared financially for the closure. I've been complaining to government, tailspin na kami. Pababa na ng pababa.
Just 2 more months to go, and this world-famous resort island is ready to open its doors to tourists again. Pinky Webb, CNN Philippines, Boracay.
Dates have been announced for Aretha Franklin's funeral. The Queen of Soul died Thursday after a battle with pancreatic cancer. Her body will lie in repose for public viewings on August 28 and 29 at the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History in Detroit. Funeral services will follow at 10 a.m. Friday, August 31 at Detroit's Greater Grace Temple. Organizers are also working on a musical tribute to Franklin featuring major recording artists. A road in Cebu gets a rainbow fix. Take a look at the city's first LGBT pedestrian lane, a tribute to the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender community. This colorful lane is found in the Barangay Talamban. These photos were shared by the barangay's SK Chair. In her Facebook post, Christine Bontuyan says it's their firm belief that it doesn't need to be Pride Month to celebrate the LGBT community. And that's what's happening in the newsroom this Saturday, August 18. Sitting in for Mai Rodriguez, I'm George Cahiles. Sports Desk Weekend is up next. Good afternoon.